Jude, we're going to take a look at your video from camp. I'm going to let it run through a couple times. The first time is going to be normal speed, and then the second time I'll slow-mo it, come back, break it down, and analyze and make some comments and some suggestions to help you improve.
Go. Jude Babin, year 2029. Go.
Okay, Jude, let's take it right back to the very beginning. We ask you guys always want to get your name, your graduation, and we want you to hustle in the ball game. You do a real good job doing this. Jog in, always make it a habit, Jude, as you go into the practice or game, whatever. Hustle in to get your spot marked, okay? So get in there, and to get in there, and you're putting your toe down right there to show the holder where you want the ball marks. That's a good job right there. Now, right here, of course, as you're jogging in, it looks like you're doing it, but I want to make just kind of always glance at exactly where you're going to be kicking that ball. Just glance as you're getting ready to set up. You want to glance at that target, whether you're over on here on the left hash or over on the right hash, whatever, glance so you can get those alignments in as you're getting ready to kick the football. In this case, it's coming right at you here. So make sure you glance at the target. Looks like you're doing it. Once you get in, you put your toe down to mark the spot for the holder. Right there, you got your eyes down there. Right here with your left foot. See where your left foot is? You kind of got it up right here. And then you don't really have it in place. What I would try to do, Jude, I would try to go ahead and get your left foot, just put it right beside your kicking foot there, and just put it toe to toe. That'd be a good place just to start. You know, if you want to adjust it and slide it up, the left foot a little further up, but it gives you a starting point. Just put your feet together, your toes evenly, lined up with each other. Instead of you're just kind of going right out here and hustling there, and see right here, you're not really ever getting set right here. So mark the spot, and then you're going to take that step back. So right here, we don't really have, if you were like teaching that to somebody, what would you be telling them on your left foot? You really don't have it in a spot. You just kind of up on your toe there. So and the things I'm sharing with you, Jude, are things that we've studied many years with these camps, some of the greatest kickers and punters and snappers of all time. So we've studied a lot of them, and particularly kickers in this case right here. And we've seen a lot of common things that they all do that are successful. And that's one of them. So get get your left foot side by side, and then you start back with your right foot like you're doing one. And you look like you've started right back from the spot there. We're looking at these points right here, there, point of placement, and then where that foot ends up. So you're doing that. So let's go right here. You're lined up, show the spot. There's 1, 2, 3. It looks like you've kind of drifted a little to the right from the spot. See, I'm looking where the spot is, where his fingers. Watch where he's putting the ball. See, I can see the football in the middle, in between your legs right there. So there's your third step right there. Now this is where, Jude, you ought to be right here at this point. You ought to be checking. This is where you make a pause. You're checking to make sure the football, you get all these marked here. That's your one target, that's your target, and where the football is in your right foot. And it looks like you're just off a little bit. You want to have all three. You want to have all three lined up. And it looks like you're just a little outside. See where the football is, where I got that line? And I shouldn't really even be able to see that football. Okay, so you've got your foot kind of, so it's like you're right here at the football and the target, and then you're over here with this right foot. So you're kind of coming right there. So you got to get that straightened up. It's a little thing, but once you get to this point, and right here, see if you've checked the target, but right here, once you mark your spot, before you start back, glance at this target, and then it's a lot easier if you'll glance at it. You don't have to keep staring at it, but just glance at it right before you take those steps back, and it'll help you be more precise because you're just going to be stepping directly back from that. So that will help you. Plus, putting your feet side by side, that will help you because you want your feet, if they're side by side, then this foot's going to come here. This foot's going to come here. This foot's going to come here, and they stay in line. So right now, with that left foot up, don't have any alignment with that foot at all. So please think about that. So you go 1, 2, 3, and you've got 3 steps, and then you're hurrying and going. Right here, see, you're not even pausing, you're just going. So right here, you need to pause and make sure all 3 points are lined up, and they're not in this case. You're a little off to the right. Okay? Once you do that, then you're going to take your lateral steps right here, and you got to do that 90 degree, and you look like you're doing a pretty good job, but that 90 degrees got to be that's a 90. That isn't a 90. See how you're a little up there on that one, but you want the 90s just like that. Okay, it's on this side too. So here's all your 90s. All right, and you're going right here. Looks like your heel's there. Let's watch how you finish. You finish a little bit better, but you're a little uphill, just a little bit right there. So make sure that's precise. And Jude, you're just too wide. You're taking too wide a step. Watch how your head dips. Look at the goal post. See where your head is. You see that soccer goal right there? Watch how your head dips down when you take a step. See how you go dip down because you're so wide, you just dip down. You should. That's probably wide enough right there. So it's probably wide enough right there. So you want to have you're right there, and then you're going to duplicate the same thing right there. So I think you're getting yourself too wide, and also see you're way over there. And see even that second lateral step. Look how wide that is, and then this one is not as wide. And plus you're kind of going up. So right here you go up a little bit, slightly, and then you go up even more, and it's not as wide there. See, now you're going up even more. So your lateral, your 90, instead of being straight across, it's kind of going here and then there. And it's got to go, we need to have that lined up right here with the ball, and we need to have it going straight across, not like up like that, okay? So we got to really work on that. You want to be in this same spot right here, Jude, right here. We want to be in this same exact spot. It's going to be the angle, and it's also going to be the depth. We want to be in the same spot every time, and to do that, you've got to be consistent on your steps. Okay, now right here, you get over here, so let me look at your steps back. You do a pretty good job walking back. Those look pretty comfortable. Nice, comfortable walks, walking back steps. Okay, now you got your 2 laterals, again, 2 wides, right about there is probably pretty good. And so you really should only be lined up right about in this area right in here. Okay, so then to make up for you getting too far away, you start kind of coming up. So we're gonna clean that up. Now right here, once you make this pivot, you're close. That looks pretty close to being in a stance. Right there, right how you are right there is pretty good. See, watch how you move this left foot. Right about there is where it needs to be, right there. You need to have that left foot aiming right toward where your plant is. That's where your plant's going to be. So your left foot's aiming right towards where the plant's going to be, right at that general area right there. But watch what you do. Now right here you look pretty good, other than I don't want to see this leg bent right here. And Jude, you're as young as you are, you really hit the ball good. You're doing some really good things. These are things that we just need to polish a little bit. And people always ask what can help increase their power? Technique. You got to enhance your technique. In order to get that technique, we got to get you aligned correctly. And it sounds real nitpicky here on this, but you're going to be, once you find your alignment, the exact steps, and get everything, we clean it up right here. That's what will carry you throughout your entire kicking career. That's one of the nice things about being a soccer kicker. Once you get those steps down, it stays the same but you ought to be like a machine and be in the same spot every time. I'll bet the NFL guys, I bet if you get them, if you put a mark where their heel is when they align, like right here, you put a mark there and you have them line 10 times, I bet they won't be off of eighth of an inch. I mean, they're so precise at doing this. So that's what you got to be too. So you get there. So watch where your foot, I said your foot needs to be there. Watch where it ends up. Now, see, you move it. So right there, all you should do is just pivot on your foot, on the toes of your foot, and then put your heel there. But you overshoot right here. Now look where your foot's aiming over here. And when your foot's aiming over there, your body's going to tend to be kind of aiming over here a little more. And we want that body aiming right towards this track right here. Okay, so your left foot ought to be aiming right here. Your right foot does turn out like that. That's fine. What you're doing there, you've kind of got it. Just go ahead and let it turn out. You can even from there just let it turn out a little bit more. But as you take the step with that right foot, it's going to the ball, and your left foot's going to where it's going to plant. So you got like little railroad tracks right here. You got a rail, so you're going to stay right on those rails right there, going right there and straight. You've created this angle right here. So you got this angle to the ball right here. And you do not step inside that triangle. You stay right there. So that's the inside track, and there's the one going to the plant foot. Okay, now you're right there. You want to glance to your target right here once you're in your stance. I see you glance. So you're glancing right now, and you're not set. Get yourself set. Once you're set, then glance at your target, and then back down to the arm of the holder where he's going to be. His arm's going to be here. Once that arm comes up to catch the football, that's when you're going to start your movement. Okay, so right here, so you get that, and you're kind of fidgeting. See, now you're checking it again. You keep moving your body. I want you to get there. Go get there. 1, 2, pivot, bring that foot back here, turn it out. This foot's aiming towards there, and you're done. You're doing a lot of pitter patter. You're stepping there. There's a step there. 1, there's a step there. There's 2, there's 3, there's 4, there's 5. Now you're finally set. Took 5 pitter patter steps. So clean that up. It should be just lateral, lateral, and then you're going to kind of pivot around, get yourself, and you're done. Get in your stance, okay? Get that cleaned up a little bit. And then you're going to lean. You want your body, so you're kind of got a little bend here. I really want to see you right here, Jude, with the back of your head down the back of your foot. So you're leaning at your waist. I want your whole body from the back of your heel to the back of your head in line with that. So don't lean at the waist. Go ahead and get most of the weight on this front foot. And then looks like you take a good, nice jab. Right? I like a little jab. It's just a small jab. That's good. Now see how much straighter, see how your back is right here? This is close right here. You almost got it. This is how I want to see in your stance. So here's where you are. I just want you to be this almost same position, but you're going to have your body more like this with the weight on that front foot. So when you lean, you'll lean just right to. So you're going to be in your stance similar to this with your body, and then you're going to lean right to this position. Then you're taking that jab step, and then here comes the drive step coming up. Here's your drive step. Plant step ought to be going right towards the target. It looks like you're pretty close. You might overshot it. Can you see your foot kind of turned out right there? It's kind of turned to the left, so you might have got that little turn a little too much right there. It's subtle. Left arm looks really good. You're doing a good job there. I think you're a little too far from the football. I just think you might be slightly far. You might need to have that foot right there. What may help too is, see your toes kind of out here and your heels kind of slipped in a little bit. So let's try to clean that up. And what will help you on that, Jude, will be one-step kicks. Work on one-step kicks. Do them initially without a ball. Just do air kicks. It focuses on your plant, foot impact with the ball, follow through, and skip. One-step kicks are excellent for that. So we'll focus on that. But I think you're just slightly too wide. And then you're going to make contact right here. Left arm, again, you want that left arm out here to the side, coming across your chest. I watched it in the slow-mo. You come right across your chest. Look at that arm come across. That's a good job. You're doing some good things. I just think you're reaching a little bit. You make contact with it. I'm not sure how long your foot is. You might have a bigger foot, I think. And if you do, that's fine. But that kind of helps determine the width of your plant. And no one can tell you exactly. You've got to just work it out yourself. It's your body, but you can tell you if you're a little tight or a little too loose on it. But I think you're just a little loose right here, just a little bit. We might have to adjust that. And again, it's a thing you just got to work on by doing one steps and just focusing on your plant there. Okay, right here, what I like to see right here, let's see what you finish here. Okay, you're kind of right here. I think you could get a little more flexibility here. I think, again, Jude, I just think you've got yourself so far away from the ball, you really have to reach right here to get going. So you're a little too wide. And I think if you'll just kind of narrow that on your lateral steps like we talked about, it's going to kind of line you up a little bit more. You're going to be coming at the ball from this, more like this angle as opposed to clear over here. You'll be coming more at this angle. Should be coming to the ball. So I think you're just a little wide here. You're coming here, and I think probably right here is going to put you in a better position right there. Okay, and again, we just got to work on that. And those lateral steps are just comfortable. You don't want to reach to where your body dips like I showed you. So come here, jab, nice jab, drive step, plant. And we got to work on a little flexibility here. Got to get that, your upper leg, you got your leg here and here. I'd like to see the upper leg more like this and that foot up. Okay, left arm looks excellent. Let's see, what's the right arm? Do a good job on that right arm. You just kind of let it lag back there. Just keep that right arm, and you're doing just kind of let it kind of hang here. But it's coming up a little bit, but you don't look like you're involving it, and that's good. Now your leg, you're coming from here with your kick. You're squaring up with the ball, and then your kicking leg's going up toward that left shoulder. Watch it right here. See how it goes up toward the left shoulder where I drew the line? So right about your waist is about the area where the skip starts. But I think since you're coming so much here, you're kind of coming back over to the left a little too much. So right here, you want your leg is going this direction right here. So your skip ought to go in that direction. And I really don't want to see your kicking foot, come outside the left side of your body. That's as much as I want to see it right there. Okay? But see, you're turning, you're kind of pirouetting right here. You're turning a little bit to the left. And you're kind of, the power's all of a sudden, you want the power going this way, and then the leg's going to continue up. And that's where your momentum's going. The skip's going to go and allow the body to decelerate. You'll land on your skip up here, right in this area. You'll land on your skip right in there, and then your kicking leg's going to come down. But I don't want to see it come all the way outside your body. See, now you're kind of right here. You're going toward the left shoulder. Now it's kind of whipping to the left. See it right there? Let it continue on up. But again, I think a combination. I think you're kind of wide, and I think you might be a little far from the ball, so you're just kind of reaching just to kind of recover, but you're athletic enough where you can make good contact with that football. So there's some good things going on here for you, Jude, but you just got to, there's some things I want you to tweak. Okay? Keep working at it. Good job at the camp. Okay, Jude, I got a little extra here for you. I got a comparison shot. So this is a college kicker, an outstanding kicker, much older than you, more experienced, very talented athlete. He's a great role model for you here, buddy, in this video for you to see and watch here. So you can see some obvious comparisons to things that we talked about earlier in the video. Right here, I want to show you, just kind of look at his body position, your body position right here, and just kind of show you some things I was talking about. Kind of look at the impact point. You're doing a pretty good job with impact. What we're looking for on this with your foot contact, we want that heel right here. We want the toe slightly lower than the heel, just slightly. You look like you might be just a little bit, so you're hitting a little bit square, but just keep that toe, make sure that toe just ever so slightly, just slightly down, okay? And I think part of it will straighten itself out once you get a little better approach angle. You see how much more you're leaning than he is? There's some similarities, your arm, but also look at the distance you are from the football right here. Look where your plan is right there compared to his. Now you're kicking off, looks like a block, I guess. I'm not real sure. You got a shadow there, so I don't know if you're kicking off a block there. Maybe that's, and if you're not, that's fine. But just so you know, right here is when you're on the left, the kicker on the left, college, they can't use blocks. So his foot, basically, the ankle, if you look down, his left ankle is even. The center of his left ankle is even with the center of the football, basically. That's basically how it is because he's kicking off the ground. If you start kicking off a block or a higher tee, like a half inch, 1 inch, or even a 2 inch, the foot starts moving slightly back a little bit from the ball to compensate for the lowering of the ball. And it could even loosen up just a little bit too. But there's just that adjustment. So the lower the ball, the farther the foot's going to be up in relation to it on the plant. But look how good he is. Look how his plant foot is pointed right toward the target. And you can see yours is there right there, but you can see right there, you look pretty similar, but then your toe kind of noses out there a little bit. It's subtle. A lot of people aren't going to notice that or even say anything, but I just think you just got to be aware of that right there. But I think your foot is just a little wider, too wide. Your plant foot's a little too wide. So you can see the differences right there. Okay? Look at your arm position right here compared to his arm position. And again, when you coach it kind of textbook, it's more you've got it pretty much like they're just lateral there, right to your side, parallel to the ground. This is okay what he's done too. So it's either like this or right here. But the important thing is when you finish across the chest. So he finishes across the chest, and watch yourself. You do too. Look at that. Good job. Real good job. So make contact with the ball there. A lot of similarities, but see your head's already. So watch his head. Watch his head and watch your head. You're going to look at the ball right there. You're looking at the ball. He's kept his head in that same position. Now you see how your body kind of comes. Watch here too when you make contact right here. Now I'm looking right here on contact. I'm looking where your head is. See where his head is right there? I'm looking where your head is. And I want to see you once you kind of see. So I want to once you make contact with the ball, you should kick through the football and watch how his head is. You start popping. You pop up right here. So if there was a ceiling just about an inch taller than you are, an inch higher than your height, then you're going up and your head's going to hit it. And right here, I don't want you doing that. I want you to kick right through the ball. Kick through the ball. So you're kind of rising up a little too much right here. And this is where the difference is he's coming up through. And look at his drawback right here. Look out, right there, that's high as. See where yours is? Yours is a little bit right here. It's a little, we're trying to time this thing up. It's just low, but you can see as high as yours is right here. And watch how his gets. He gets his up there just a little bit higher. He's got a little more flexibility here. Okay, and here's where yours in that position is. So it's not as much flexibility in your hip. Again, you're young. You're doing a lot of good things. I'm comparing you to a guy that's probably about 8 years older than you, 8 or 9, and has a lot more experience. But this is a great way to teach you and help you. So make contact with it. Watch how he finishes. Now watch how his foot is right here. And you can see, look how your body's kind of leaning over this way. And watch how he keeps his body right here. And watch how he'll rotate. His upper body, torso rotates. And see, you've lost control right here. And I just think a lot of that's going to straighten out. You're just too wide. And I'll show you that here in just a second. Okay. See his upper body? So you're kind of leaning and you're kind of rising up. So work on those one steps and watch it. Focus on the finish. Look how his skip. Your plant's turning out over here. His is just going right with the kick. Watch how his leg's coming right through here. Doing just like yours, going right up here. He continues his on up and his skip goes in that same direction. Watch his skip. See? And then it just allows him to gain control. And I don't even see his leg come outside the body there. So work on that, Jude. That'll help you big time, buddy. Focus on the finish. Be really consistent on where you land on your finish. Okay, I'm going to take you all the way back to the beginning. I'm going to lock this thing here. So I want you to watch him here. Here's what I was talking about when you come up. See how he lines up? See where your foot is? Watch what he does right here. He's lined up there, and then watch 1, 2, 3. Look how his kicking foot's right in the same line the whole way back. He gets there and he checks it. What's your kicking foot? So you're already off right here. And then you kind of go right here. So one, you're over to the right a little bit, and you kind of drifted. See, I can see the football. I shouldn't be able to see the football. See, I can't see the football in. Of course, there's no football there, but I can't see where the point of the finger is right there. His finger, where his finger's on the ground, the placement right there. I can't even see right there. I don't ever. If there was a ball there, I wouldn't even be able to see. If I did, you'd see it right in the middle of the foot's right in the middle of it. So he's right there. So you can see right here just by the tip. And look at the tip of the ball where the ball's on the ground. So right here where he puts it, right there, there's the tip. So see, I can see the tip is right towards your left leg right there. That's on the ground. So you're just a little too far. So get here and check it just like he does. Watch him right here. 1, 2, 3. And he's checking to make sure right here, he is checking to make sure this foot, the ball, which is going to be in front of his head, point of placement, all three are in the line. He's checking it. Once he checks it, watch what he does. He puts his foot right beside the other foot. He takes the time to do this. Okay, you need to take the time to do this. You're just kind of going right here and going. So you're going, you're not checking. So check it. What's your right here? He's going right here. 1, 2, 3. Check it. Bring his kicking foot back. Now watch his lateral step. Feet are straight down the field. Feet are aiming straight down the field. Okay? Now look at your step here. Okay, how wide you are compared to him. And then watch his second one, his second lateral step. Look, keeps his feet together. Look how precise he is. And then he comes back and watch. This is where I want you to improve on the pivot. He'll bring his foot back, and he just positions his foot right toward where it's going to be, right there at the target. Now his foot's right there. You see it? Again, let's watch it one more time here. Checks it, lateral with precision. Then he takes his foot behind. Then he just watch how he just subtly moves that left foot towards where it's going to plant. And now he keeps his shoulder. Now watch how he'll bring his kicking leg. Now watch him right here. He's set. He gets set right here. Now he's in his stance. Let's watch you right here. Again, just way too wide, buddy. Then right here, now right here, just put your foot there and you're done. I tell you what, if you'll do this is we gotta get the width right. So get a good width, better width here, about right there. Then you got your lateral steps. And watch what you do right here. And you do this one here. Keep your toes. Now see, you're already turning this foot. See right here, you're turning it. So remember, we got to straighten this out. We got to clean this up right here. This has got to go. You're kind of going uphill a little bit. We got to be a true 90. Watch him on this 90 here. This is good right here for you. Really good stuff. Look how clean he is. Lateral, and he pivots. Gets in his stance. Now he's ready to go. He's in his stance. He's in his stance. And right here, get here. And right here, how you pivot right to there. Now you're in your stance right there. That's how quick I want you to just be able to go lateral, and then you're in your stance. Then you're done. Okay, we got to try to clean it up. Now watch your feet too. Now what I was telling you about earlier, right here, as you're doing these steps, keep those toes, everything pointing right direction where your target is. And then as you get to here, right here, see how you're turning your left foot? You're turning your left foot. You're getting ahead of yourself here. Keep it straight. That's why you're kind of going like this. That's why you're kind of going here. You're going up, and then you're going up a little more because you're turning that foot. Do it like he does here. Like watch how he does it. Watch how clean he is. Straight. Look at his feet. You make sure they're toe to toe. He's straight lateral. Look at him right here. Look how precise he is. Keeps him straight, and then he comes over there, and he's all set. He's in position. So get yourself in position. So here's the stance I want to get you in. See how nice he is right here on this? Back of his neck, all the way back of his leg. And watch what he's going to do. His whole body's going to lean to this jab right here. It's a little jab right there. Watch him right here. See that body lean? And watch, he's looking at the arm of the holder right here. So when this arm comes up to catch the ball, that's when he does his slight lean. So what you're out there is going to lean. Left arm comes up with the holder, lean to the jab. Lean right here to the jab. And now look how straight he is right here. And see your body, you're kind of here, here, and here. I want to straighten that out. And now you finish up better right there. You're close there. See the similarities there? But you're also, you got your foot still aiming over this way. So we got to get everything, get that foot just like he's done right here. That keeps the body going right in the proper position. Plus, I can see a lot of his back. I can't hardly see as much as your back because see yours isn't as wide because you're aiming more over this way. Okay. So we can see that, and you can see the drive step. And we talked about the plant step. Okay. Again, watch him right here. Last thing right here, watch this right here. Pull you back. He does 1, 2, 3, 4. He checks it. He brings that foot back. 2 precise lateral steps, not very wide, lateral. He pivots. He gets that foot aiming toward his plant foot. The left foot is aiming toward where it's going to plant. He gets in his stance. Now, once he's in his stance, he's set. He's locked in, checks the target, looks back at the holder. The holder calls for the snap. Once flashes that hand, once that ball snapped, his left hand comes up. Watch the kicker. Watch the kicker lean. His whole body right here. His whole body right here leans to the jab. Watch his whole body leans to the jab, and he's off to the races. Really good form. Take advantage of this video. I'm going to let you watch him one more time. Just watch him right here. 1, 2, 3. Check. 2 nice lateral steps. Check your target after you're in your stance. Jab. Nice clean finish. Take advantage of this video, buddy. This is good stuff for you to help you look at it and improve and strive to be just as good or better than he is. Okay? Great job at the camp.